I want to welcome Connie and everybody to my house whenever they come to the Northeast. Well, actually, the Southeast now, I guess, to come to the house. It really is quite a quite a place, and I'm it's interesting. I'm very lucky that he honors things because I went and got colored tape to to stop him from uh, going over to the neighbor's property. So I gave him colored tape, and he's been very good because he hasn't gone anywhere.
Good.
He goes where he's supposed to go. He's really good. So let me see if I can stop this. Choose virtual background. Okay. So everyone, I apologize. There we go.
Oh,
Much
is
better
that
than the virtual
gorgeous?
background.
Yay.
Much better than the virtual.
Oh, fabulous.
It really is a fabulous place. My husband and I are. Could you turn that down, babe? My husband and I are sitting here on our back porch. I will tell you, everyone, that my house is studs, no sheetrock, and no running water, and
Oh,
very little
oh.
electricity. So we just sit back here. This is why we bought the house anyway.
So when are you actually moving?
Well, we thought we were moving the end of June.
That's what you originally said. Yeah.
Yeah, we thought we were. And it turns out that likely it'll be Labor Day, not Memorial Day. And so, sorry, my phone's going to have to tell me to be on my call. And so we are probably going to rent a little house down the road for a while, a bed, an Airbnb or VRBO for a little while, and be able to be nearby to make decisions. Because a lot of
Right.
the hang up is that we're not here. So when we call, we're out of sight, out of mind. So we think that if we're nearby, we'll be better. And I have to tell you, the MAP plan. Thank you so much, Connie, for sending me so many of those incredibly sad and incredibly
Right.
important listings on rescues that say, "Oh, by the way, this person's owner went to nursing home, or this person's owner died, or this person's owner turned them in because they can't take care of them." And if we all came to this community and made a MAP plan, it would be fabulous because we would know that there were people in the world. So I'll just show you that there's a crazy Irish setter back there. There he
You're
is.
right. Your property has red now.
That it is red now. Yes, it has red, but we always call Junie. He runs around in circles around our dining room table, and so for the past hour, we've watched him run back and forth on the property. You'll see him just back and
Oh,
forth,
I do.
back
I
and
do.
forth.
He's having a ball.
He's having a ball. He hasn't discovered the water yet, so we're really happy. That berm keeps him from discovering the water. So we're hopeful because he's a water dog. He loves
Oh,
the water.
yes. Oh,
So we're
yes.
hoping that we can keep that away. The invisible fence man comes tomorrow. So for everyone who's listening, listen to what I'm saying. So I have a fence. I'll show you the fence. It's a little bit hard to see, but it is three little strips
Yes. Yes.
of
See it. It's orange.
colored tape that keeps him on my property until the invisible fence man comes. Now, if you don't have a dog that honors tape like that, I happen to have a very good dog who honors tape like that, then you really can't let them off a leash. I have a long line here that he was on earlier today, and I have a rocking chair right there that I sat in that I watched him running back and forth, and every time I whistled, he would come back. So he knew that was the spot where he couldn't go. When we're planning for the care of our pets, we have to make sure we set up safe environments for them. And so for me, it's really important that he has a safe environment. So he now has, hey, everybody, welcome, Sally, welcome, Kieran. So it's really important for me that he has a safe environment. So what did I do today? I went out to Home Depot and I bought tape and stakes and put up that little fence there. Now you might be able to not see it, but it does blow in the wind. But it keeps him in. And it's on all three sides. The house is one, and then the ends of the house is the other. I don't have it on the fourth side, which is the water, because there's a natural berm there that he seems not to. So here's the house, guys, just so you know where I'll be for the rest of my life. And those are the oyster beds. See the dark little moles in the water?
Yes.
Because it's low
Yes.
tide. So those are the ones that will slice my dogs into smithereens, which we didn't know when we bought the house. So we're having a little bit of a moment because Junie likes to swim. We'll figure it out. But we've put up tapes and everything because when you Junie, Well, you're a responsible owner. You really need to make sure that your pets are in a safe environment. So Junie is now totally locked down. I would never leave him here without me being here, but he is definitely in a place that he would have to work to get into trouble. He also has been in the house, which is, as I told Connie at the beginning, um, I have to tell you, it's studs. It's no electricity, no plumbing, studs. And we're moving in July. I don't think so. So we will be moving to North Carolina in July. Maybe not with a home to live in, but we're working those logistics out now. But when you have pets, this is something you really need to pay attention to, because as I'm thinking here, I'm going, well, there might be someone in Connecticut who would hold Roxy until October, until everything was done. And
There
when I
she
came up
is. There she
to,
is.
there she is, because she's holding Roxy now, because we didn't make Roxy take the 10-hour trip. Roxy will only make one 10-hour trip. She will never make another. She will make one 10-hour trip. And, you really have to recognize she's older. She's, going to be in a crate, which she loves. She loves going in the van in a crate. 10 hours is a long time. So I only want to do it once, and I don't want her to be from hither and yon. So we're probably going to bring Junie with us in July, and we're probably going to rent a house that will be nearby. But you have to pay attention. I mean, here I am. So when you are making a MAP plan, what is it? You're making a plan, you're appointing your caregivers, you're addressing the needs of your pet, and you're publishing it. So I'm publishing my things with people all the time now, and I'm writing up what I'm doing, because it really is important to make sure that the plans you have in place not only are plans you know about, but others know about, so they can be um, carried out by someone else if something happens to you. So before we start, we always do this. I'm going to check in with everyone. I'm going to start with Sally, because she actually has Roxy, and I know that Roxy is suffering mightily in Connecticut as she's getting full body massages and wonderful food and long walks. How is the Roxaroni and Athena doing?
Well, they're both great. It's 80 degrees here, a big difference from 37 yesterday. So,
Yeah, really, it's been terrible.
yeah, they're just fabulous. And the amazing thing is now her older half sister will only eat what Roxy eats. So I'm boiling chicken and cooking rice and steaming vegetables. Nope, nope. I'm going to eat exactly what
Just the
Roxy.
chow that Roxy eats. Yes, absolutely.
So,
Because Roxy is such a no fuss, no muss. You throw chow in a bowl, you put one of the prime freeze drieds over it, and she eats. Yeah.
and now that is Athena's dinner also.
Yeah, because Athena wants to be wash and wear like Roxy. Well, your life will be easy while Roxy's there, because Athena will do whatever she needs to do. So I'll give you another, because everybody's here now. Hi, Donna. How are you? Hi, Kieran. Hold on a minute. I'm going to hold it up because you'll see the streak lightning. There's the streaked red lightning. There he is. He's having
Beautiful.
such a fun time running. He's so crazy. He'll sleep tonight. I'm telling you, he was in a
beautiful place.
Oh yeah, we are blessed. We are really, really blessed. And so I took my screensaver off, because I said to Connie, "Well, let me show you what it looks like." And I said, "Wow, this looks much better than the screensaver." So let me check in with you, Connie. How are my Wheatons doing?
Well, here's another rub that we can discuss tonight on the MAP plan. Grammy Bammy, my heart dog, my girl who just turned 11, and does all the wonderful library work here in the South Bay of LA under normal conditions, is down at the specialty and emergency vet in Irvine, because we're looking at a potential diagnosis of either Cushing's disease or protein losing enteropathy, which is one of the two protein losing diseases that are genetically transmitted in Wheatons. If you want to read about them, go on the Wheaton website. But we have been able to test for PLN for 10 years since they cracked the canine genome, working with the University of Pennsylvania Vet School since 1995. But we are right now in the throes of developing testing for PLE. In fact, as the treasurer of our national club, I am about to transfer the second installment of our research funds to Penn Vet. So at any rate, she started having GI problems 10 days ago, and I took her into my primary care vet. She's low on protein, and so she hasn't eaten for the past day and a half, and so we got her down to Irvine, where a number of my dogs have been patients before, all for orthopedic issues. But at any rate, they're doing an ultrasound on her this afternoon. They're draining the incredible amount of edematous fluid in her abdomen to make her more comfortable. The good news is that PLE and PLN are a lot more treatable and manageable than when we first discovered the diseases years ago. It used to be an automatic death sentence, and I lost my very first wheaten to PLN. So at any rate, my heart is in my throat. I haven't slept for over a week, but I will have to change my MAAP plan for whatever her treatment program is going forward. And so it's not only us we have to worry about with the MAAP plan, but it's our dogs as they age and they develop.
And their needs and care changes. Absolutely. Right. Because addressing the needs of the pet, when they're young, like Junie, you have to feed them and give them some fresh water. And when they're old, like Roxy, you just need to feed her and give her some fresh water. She really needs nothing else. She's a wash and wear dog. But then there are dogs who have issues like Athena and like Bammy that you're really going to have to say, listen, these are the dogs I have. Are you willing to take them? And what are we going to do with it? So it really is important to write that out and make that plan. I'm going to tuck Miss Bammy in my prayers, Connie, and I'm sure everybody here will, and make sure she's going to recover and make as much of a recovery as she can, and that the diagnosis is the best diagnosis we can get given the circumstances.
Exactly. And if I have to cut off because the vet calls me in the middle of the call, my apologies, but obviously.
Yeah, no, we are there with you. No problem. So let me check in. Kieran, I got your book. Oh my God, guys, this book is so fabulous. I'm going to have more time to read it next week, but I scanned through it, and between the artwork and the language in the book, it's just fabulous for new people who are getting pets to be responsible pet owners. So she left. God, Donna was here. She's my colleague. She'll be back, I hope. So Kieran, of course, has been writing this book, and I was going to explain it for Donna, but obviously she got cut off, and we'll see her later or not. So Kieran, how's it going? Unmute. There he is.
There we are. Oh, you're looking great, Deborah.
And this is where I'm going to live the rest of my life. I think I've hit the jackpot. I think Junie's hit the jackpot too.
You can't beat the great outdoors.
Nope. Of course, we can't go indoors because there's no studs. I mean, no, there are just studs. There's no sheetrock, plumbing, or electric. But hey, I mean, am I picky or what?
Yeah, but you should see this red streak that's going by in back of you continually. It is hysterical.
Well, I was sitting the other way before, and all I kept watching was him going back and forth. And I said, well, the only thing I'm really grateful for is that he will sleep all night tonight. He will sleep like the dead. So it'll be great. And maybe he will sleep past 6 o'clock in the morning, which is when he always gets up. There you are, Donna. So I was going to check in with Kieran because I'd love to hear you to hear what he's doing. So Kieran, tell us a little bit more about Leo the One-Eyed Dog. This is a book for children on how to be a responsible pet owner. So Kieran's been here every week, and we have been helping him and cheering him on to get this book out there in Ireland and possibly the UK and then beyond, because he feels that teaching children how to be responsible pet owners is key to having less homeless pets. Correct, Kieran?
That's exactly it. Yep. And it's this is more a compilation than someone writing the book. I think there's about 50 or 60 contributors at this stage, including yourself, Debbie.
Yep.
So if you got to look at I think it's the second last page, the MAAP plan is in there. The open question I have for you is there a form? Do you have a standard form?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure, and I'll put it in there. I've done it for Jane Lundreville, who wrote the book "Here Comes the Mountain," which was based on how she helped rescue an abused horse from the kill pen. So she put it in the back of her book to say, "Listen, if you don't want your horse to end up in a kill pen, make one of these." So that's what you're doing, Kieran. So I greatly appreciate it.
So if you have a form to send me, I'll put it in after the explanation.
Perfect. Wonderful. I will do that.
Yeah.
And you're still in Tenerife, right? You stinker. Oh, she's gone again. Poor Donna. She keeps coming and going. I think she is. I don't think I'm missing her. Maybe I'm just missing her because I don't have a gallery view up. Nope, she's not here. Oh, there she is. Great.
She's back.
Yes. So before she leaves again, Donna, tell us about you, because Donna is a colleague of mine in the American Veterinary Medical Law Association. She's an attorney in Texas, a good friend of mine. We've had great conversations together, and this is her first time visiting us at the MAAP community. Welcome, Donna. You have to unmute yourself, though. You have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
There we are. I didn't
There we
have an
go.
unmute button for a moment.
That's okay.
I'm a lawyer and I studied bioethics, so my interest in this comes naturally. But I really want to comment on Kieran's great idea. As I've worked in this area, one of the things that has changed is my perception of these cute videos and cute pictures that people post of their kids with horses. And, sometimes they'll pose like a little child on a horse and give the kid a riding whip to flourish around. Or I see little girls in town in little dresses and cowboy boots and spurs. And now I see that as they're teaching the kids how to hurt the horse. And everyone thinks it's really cute to see the little girl with spurs or the little kid on the horse flourishing a long whip or something. But in fact, it's a bad way to start.
Yeah.
It looks darling, and they're very traditional. I mean, there's lots of people have a picture of themselves on a horse with a lasso or something, a pony, but they're really not a good example. And until you step back, you just see it as a cute picture. But when you step back, you see it as the wrong thing to start the kid off with.
Well, once Kieran gives me the okay, I will share his book with you, because I have to tell you, it's called One-Eyed Leo, and it's about a dog that started off in a really bad way, and then gets to a home, and they talk about how the animals should be cared for, and Leo helps them learn how to care for animals. I'm correct, right, Kieran?
Little bit more
So
subtle.
you tell me then. You tell me.
Okay, and this actually goes straight in with Donna's thinking. So this book has two sides to it. So the first thing is if you like a lovely illustration, then the storyline, and then a page of learning tasks. So the hope is that by page 5 or 6, a lot of children will say, "Oh, it sounded like a good idea at the time, but we didn't know there was so much work involved. We don't really want a dog." Now that I would say is a good result, because you don't have people messing with animals not knowing what they're doing. Now, if they get beyond page 5, it's like a university course in resource or project management. So before they even go to the rescue shelter, they will sign up to doing research on the breed, talking with their neighbors who have dogs, learning about the lifespan, and so on. And then the idea is that Leo, the hero of the book, sets out the type of home he would like. So the whole idea is we try and test the resolve of children. Do they really want a dog? And if the answer is yes, well, here's a step-by-step management course and how to go about it. That's the children's part of the book. And then there's a second section, which is only for the grown-ups. And that goes through everything from what should I do immediately if the dog bites somebody. And I've used a lot of Debbie's tips, how the dog's legal position would change if you, the grown-ups, legal position change, be it divorce or whatever. So at the end of all of this, it's really a question of testing how good this idea of we want a dog is.
If
That sounds like a great preparation.
It really is. If everyone would just take time, and we know this now because of COVID, if everyone would take time to understand what the commitment is to a dog before you got one, that would be really helpful. And I think that's what Kieran's book brings to the fore. What is the full commitment to this dog? It's not the commitment for the first 2 or 3 weeks when it's a cute puppy with sharp teeth. It is for the dog like Roxy, who's with Sally, who's older and crotchier and that's I know. Don't tell her I said that. Don't tell her I said that. But
Don't let her hear that.
she's got COVID brain now in a big way. You have to make sure that this is, especially with little dogs, it could be a 20-year commitment. With bigger dogs, every year after 10 is a blessing. So it's a commitment. And I remember when I started my business pet network, I would talk people out of getting a dog, and my husband said that business model really stinks. And I said, well, because because I only got money if I helped you buy a dog.
Right.
And I said, well, I can't really justify getting a dog for someone whose parents say, the mother who's going to be home with the dog says, my plate is full. The pattern is full, as they say in Top Gun. The pattern is full. You can't do it. And then they bring the dog anyway. And that's when the dogs find issue. And so Kieran and I have talked a long time about what do we do now with animals who are with people who don't know what they're doing and are going back to work. And then the shelters are all condemning them because they're dropping them off at the shelters. And we've spoken about what we can do to set up a better, along with Spencer Hoggett, a better conversation, not you stink, you're dropping off your dog, you should keep your dog. When the going gets rough, don't dump your dog. But I always feel that if people feel they can't take care of the dog, it's a double-edged sword. Is the dog going to be mistreated because it's in a situation where people can't take care of it? So why would you want to keep the dog there? Now, if you could support the person so that they can find their way clear to take care of this dog, fabulous. But if they just, I always say the most disenfranchised people in the world, and you guys have heard me say this all the time, are people who don't like animals, or people who don't care if they have animals or not. And people think those people are crazy. How could they live like that? But there are people who feel like that. And we have to make sure that the animal isn't stuck in that situation, because that isn't really a nurturing situation for the pet. So that's why when we have the MAAP plan, I was saying at the beginning that Connie had sent me 3 or 4 or 5 posts from Facebook where pets are in shelters because their owners are sick or have died and nobody made a plan. And here's the dog, lovely. I mean, I almost jumped out of my skin, Connie, when you sent me the one that was 5 months old and the older woman went to a nursing home.
Yes.
And I said,
I gotta go. It's the vet.
Okay, go. Good luck with
Hey,
Bammy.
Connie.
I don't understand how you can buy a 5-month-old dog for an older person without some sort of support network. Because if you think they're going to get up out of the chair and move around because you got them a dog, they will if you support them. But that's why the MAAP plan is so important, because when you have caregivers, you are able to support them in a way that they can keep the dog, but they don't have to do the day-to-day walk. They don't have to do the feeding. They don't have to do that. They can have the companionship that's so important for your heart rate, for the love they give you. But yet there's someone you can pay to come over to take the dog for a walk or to make sure the dog is getting its heartworm and flea stuff. That's a goose out in the back, and I apologize. That's not Judy.
I think that's darling.
Oh God, my thing just flew away. Sorry, it's gone. It's gone now.
I was thinking today, I met a woman who is trying to adopt a French Bulldog cross, which she really wanted. And they put in the application, the vet's been interviewed, passed all the hurdles, except for one, which I was totally unaware of. I have 5 dogs at home and have had all kinds of dogs, and being discouraged because her home fronts on the water. And French Bulldog cannot swim, which I did not know. And I thought, it's so important when you make the plan that you give, that either your caregiver shares the information with you, that is, they already have Wheatons or Pit or French Bulldogs or whatever, or that you share that information with them. Because, if she had said to me, we just adopted this puppy and now there's illness in the family, could you take the puppy for a week? I would have said, sure, and I've got a farm, no problem. But I would not have known that the dog had to be watched around water unless someone told me, even though I think I'm a pretty conscientious dog owner.
Here's my husband.
Good. Is he up for adoption?
No, he's not up for adoption. I'm keeping him. He's well trained. I'm keeping him. So no, he's not up for adoption. Not today, anyway. Before, when I was trying to find Junie's number 2, he could have been changed because he didn't run to find where it was in the grass here in North Carolina. It's very hard to find it. But you're very right, Donna, because it's what I always say is address the needs of the pet, because the people who are taking your pets want to know what it is they're taking on. And if you want them to know what it is they're taking on. So Roxy's a perfect example. Sally, I tell her all the time, please do not let her go by small white dogs. She, in the last year, she loathes small white dogs. And so you just have to take a hold of her collar and walk her by and she'll be okay. But she really is, yes. Is she? You have to unmute yourself, Sally.
All little dogs.
All little dogs. Yeah, she's sort of gotten beyond the white. Now she just doesn't like any little dogs. So
I think they're squirrels or rabbits. I'm not sure.
I think she is COVID challenged. I think that I created her. So this is a great explanation for everyone. So we've been in COVID now, and whether we got dogs or we had dogs, right? We have changed the way we meet people with our dogs. I have, at least, and I'm sure everyone has, because you're not allowed to walk up to them. You're not allowed to say hello. So you're walking on the other side of the street. And I tended to pull Roxy really close when people walk by with kids or dogs. And now every time a kid or a dog walks by, she gets very protective of me, because I think she felt, well, mommy's pulling me close because these are bad people and I have to protect her from them. And so now she's a crazy person. And I understand that, because I wasn't really explaining to her, nor could I, why I was pulling her close. Hi, we have COVID. We really can't be near people. We have to be 6 feet apart. They're dogs. They could listen to us, and they will listen to us as if they understand every word we're saying. And P.S. they don't. So she doesn't understand why I was always pulling her close. And now she has really taken on that mantle of, okay, if somebody comes up to my mother or somebody walks by, I'm going to take them out first. I'm just going to take them out first so they don't hurt my mother. And we all have to be aware, like you said perfectly, Donna. I wish I'd known, or if I did take the French Bulldog, I needed to know that they couldn't go by the lake by my house, because I didn't realize that if they went in, they sink. Sort of like dachshunds, they sink too. I mean, I had a pool by my house, and I had standard dachshunds, and I had life preservers for them. I never let them in the water without life preservers, because God did not make them swimmers. They are not meant to be in the water, maybe low water, but not like swimming. So yeah, you have to know what these dogs really need. And that's what's really important. I'm so glad you brought that up, Donna, because it's so important. So Sally, any other thoughts tonight because we have 5 more minutes. I want to make sure I get off on time, because I know that you guys are busy. Kieran, I'm absolutely going to get to the book and get to you on Monday or Tuesday. Are you around? Let me know. Perfect. I will get to you.
Will be.
I will set it up. Donna, anything you want to add? Because I'll tell you what the MAAP stands for, Donna. It stands for making a plan, addressing the needs of your pet, appointing caregivers, and publishing it with your attorney, your vet, and all the caregivers. Because unless you have redundancy, which means that all the caregivers know who they are, so that if Donna's out of town the day I need her to take care of my pets because I fell down the stairs, God forbid, broke my leg, then you really want to make sure that you have someone in place who can be there. So, if Donna's not there, Sally's there. Sally's not there, Kieran's there. But Donna, Sally, and Kieran know about each other. It's just, it makes common sense, but nobody ever does it. Nobody ever tells anybody about anything.
It's very much like many things in our arrangements, though. You can tell people if you draw up a simple end of life set of documents for them, a will, a power of attorney, a financial power of attorney, a HIPAA authorization, that they need to rethink those if they're naming that are approximately their age. Yeah. Because my doctor is my age. He might retire. So I might say, I might have in that information packet that my intern is Dr. White. But if Dr. White retires and I'm not comfortable with the young doctor who succeeds him, I need to make sure those papers get changed.
Yep.
So that the person I've appointed doesn't look to them. And the same thing is true of our veterinary plans and so on. I have in the past, and I am determined after this conference to redo them, is also to have a back room on my farm, a list of all the horses and what they get, and where my vet is, and the dog, the cat. I mean, I live on a farm, so the horses would be semi okay if somebody filled their water trough. But down in South Texas, they'd run out of water fairly quickly. And if someone has to do backup work and they don't remember that lamplighter is 30 years old and needs to eat separately, they need to have someplace where they can look for that.
Yep.
And I have had that up when I've had a farm with a ranch nanny coming out to take care of the horse, so she could always look it up. But I really need to have it there with a big note on the cover that says "in case of emergency."
Yep.
And this is where you reach my vet, how you reach my friend, so on.
I'm telling you, then come to us every week, because we'll give you new information every week on what to do, because everyone here should have their note up on the refrigerator. So when the EMTs come, they don't take your dog to the animal care and control. They see it right there. And it says, in case of emergency, call these 3 people, leave my dogs in the house. They'll be here. Because sometimes, depending on the state or the town or the county you live in, if animal care and control comes, they're going to take your dogs to animal care and control, and you might not be able to get them back unless they're spayed or altered. And to some of us, that would be a real problem. So you really need to make these plans, and you need to have them up all the time, not just when you're on vacation and not just when you're old like me, but you really need them up when you're young. Anything can happen, and our pets really depend on us to make that plan that will keep them safe. So I am going to say goodnight to everyone. My husband just left because he's freezing to death, and I'm like living the life here at 70 degrees. So I'm like, I don't know, but I love you all. Thank you so much for coming down. I hope you rejoin us. Colin, I'll speak to you on Monday. And until next Wednesday, kiss all your dogs for me. Deborah Hamilton, Hamilton Law Mediation, and the MAAP plan. Make sure you stay with us. You take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.